Hi, nobodies. Um, so I think it's been a day, maybe a day and a half, 2 days. I don't know. I'd have to check since I last vlogged. Um, gotta say, I have had like the best weekend. God, it's been a long time since I've had such a good weekend. Like, really spending time with somebody who, I mean, oh my God. It's been so long since I've actually like talked to somebody. And like my INFJ friend, he and I talk about a lot of things, but we've never actually hung out. So I can't say like hanging out with my INFJ friend is like the coolest thing ever because I've never actually hung out with him. But the conversations are really good. And I would encourage anybody who watches this to find out what your type is. And then, like what of the 16, it's like 16personalities.com. And like, even if you consider it like some stupid new agey crap, like astrology or burning sage, um, just check it out. See where you fit, like, are you an introvert or an extrovert, which most of us know ahead of time. I'm an introvert. I'm an extrovert. You know, the other ones, the other letters are a little bit different. And if there's like somebody who just gets under your skin like nobody else, chances are one of you's an intuit and an intuit and one of you is a sensor. And it's not impossible for those relationships to work out, but those relationships are very exhausting to an intuit because an intuit is constantly having to apologize. Like, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that, like no, you misunderstand. So anyway, like I had the best weekend that I seriously can't remember a better weekend. Um since maybe like when I was 20, just where you're just like sitting with somebody new and you're like, oh, have you ever seen this? And they're like, yeah. You're like trying to come up with some obscure shit, like you're like, hey, have you ever heard this? Have you ever seen that? Did you know about this? Like, and it's so cool when they're like, yeah, I'm surprised you have, like it's like, oh my God, you know, it's really cool. And it's been so long since I've like actually sat with somebody and like had such a good time. Uh, I've sat with people and had them talk down to me. I've had them be condescending. I've had them question my intelligence, and bully me. And, I've had all kinds of different interactions with people, but it is so nice when you can just like sit up until 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning talking about music and movies and all of those things that make an INFJ's little black heart go pitter patter. Just like, hey, I'm having a good time. I don't want to sleep. I want to stay up and I want to talk and I want to keep on going. I don't want to go to sleep because this is too fucking cool. This is cooler than my dreams. Because like my dreams are cool, but when you can actually interact with another human being and then you're sitting there going, man, my dreams are going to be like cool, but this is so much cooler because how often do I get the opportunity to be completely myself or as much of myself as I can? Because, like, people build credit, but there's always like the whole like testing the waters. Like your teenagers do this whole testing the water thing, and they'll see what the boundaries are. Well, I do that too, to a degree. Like, we'll give you like just a little snippet of something and see what the reaction is. Like a safe piece of our brain that we're like, okay, here's where I'm weird, but I'm not going to go like full into that. I'm going to give you just a teeny little piece and see how you react. And if you react appropriately, then you get more and you get more and you get more. And those protective barriers over those parts of me that I've been previously rejected for. It's like, hey, hey, I can let that out while I'm here. This is a safe place for that. I read something over the weekend that was like about how INFJs like don't have, like, they're different people to different people. Well, we mirror. It's a thing we do. But like one person could call you this, one person can call you that, because that's what they see of you. Because there are certain people, I mean, you test those waters and you say, okay, this is something that they're not going to understand. This particular person is not going to understand this about me. They're not going to accept this, because you do like the little tests here and there. You're gauging responses, and, I'm not saying that my personality type is the most exhausting, but we're always gathering information. Every gesture, every smile, every word, tone, it's all like we're gathering that information. And my ex told my daughter, he's like, hey, what your mom just did, don't you do it. So I sent him a message and I'm like, I'm with you on that, because like I got an Uber and I went to somebody's house who I didn't know. That could be dangerous. I get that. But I'm like, hey, one thing I have been pretty good at throughout my whole life is figuring out if someone is a physical danger to me. Which is why, like, I want to talk to somebody, even if it's on FaceTime. I want to watch expressions. I want to see body language, and I gather a lot from that. Even the recent misstep I took, that person was not a physical danger to me. Like, I never worried that person was going to punch me, push me downstairs, ram me into a wall, or anything like that. What I wasn't expecting was the mental shit. The mental shit I was not expecting. And I've never been so fucking wrong about somebody. And I'm normally pretty spot on. So I said, I'm due a misread every once in a while. Considering how long I've gotten without a misread, I'll take it. It was a lesson. And I'm starting to get kind of, like these little glimpses of what the universe was preparing me for. Because there were things that I did in Cleveland that I wouldn't have done. Now, I'm not talking bad things. I'm talking about, going to certain places, doing certain things that I'd never done before, and like embracing certain things that I had never embraced before, like there's always different types of people that you're hanging out with. I've hung out with tons of stoners, and people who drink, hanging out with other types of people who've been to prison, people who've had drug problems, alcohol problems, and all of that. It really gave me insight into how bad things can get for people, and like one person's rock bottom is not another person's rock bottom. But I just had like a total fucking blast this weekend. I cannot believe how much fun I had. And it might have been stupid to some people, but it's no different than when you say, hey, here's my address, let's go out for coffee, and somebody comes and picks you up for the date. And honestly, in my past, I don't know if I mentioned this before ever in one of my videos, but I went to a coworker's house when I was 17. This is somebody I worked with. And we were so cool at work, and I thought, So going to his house for a picnic was no big deal. I mean, I'm like, this is somebody I've been working with for well over a month. This is somebody I know. And this was before, I mean, I was fairly good at reading people, but I guess I wasn't. Like I could read some people and not so much others. I guess I hadn't observed enough stuff, or I don't know. I honestly can't say, because I do not have a direct line into 16, 17-year-old me's thinking at the time. But I went to that house, and now my intuition did kick in when I was in that house, because like the first red flag was this dude had to take a shower and then he come out butt naked. I should have left then. I should have been like, I didn't ask to see him naked. I didn't. So this is highly inappropriate. And I was a little skeeved out about it. But I stayed. I didn't listen. And he slipped something in my drink. And nothing, what he had planned for the night did not happen. I'm not going to go into detail about all of that, but what he had planned for the night did not happen. But I was hurt. And that was somebody that I knew. You hang out with somebody for a month at work, you figure you know them. This is somebody who, like, I could say, this wasn't a complete stranger. So, going and hanging out with a complete stranger is a whole different thing. I mean, but if you've been talking to somebody and you've spoken with them, and if you get to a point like at 42 years old, I'm pretty good at reading people. Like I said, the last situation excluded, pretty good at reading people. And that situation, if I would have left when he came out naked, everything would have been cool. And I was telling myself, you need to leave now. So I had this set that, if I get there and something just doesn't feel right, I was in the city. I was not far away from my family. I was not so far away from, like, there were a ton of places I could have went if I would have had to run. But I really wasn't getting that off of him in general. And I'm not even going to go into what really sold me on going, but it was something that my gut was like, okay, follow that. My gut, who failed me last time, said, we need to go see this person. We need to go over there. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. And to my credit, I called up my daughter and said, hey, can you give me a lift up to this house? I'll give you gas money. She said no. I called up my ex-husband and said, hey, you're going to little sister me? Like we worry about your safety. Don't meet people online. Got to meet them sometime, and he didn't flat out refuse, but he was working late, and I wasn't about to say, well, hey, I know you're going to work late, come get me and then take me over there. And then plus, I mean, how does that look, having your ex-husband take you to a new guy's house? It's like, So I took an Uber, and my family had Life 360 on me. They knew where I was at any point in time. They could send me, a text saying, hey, let me know you're okay, or call, like to make sure that they get me, and then freak out if they don't. I mean, I was perfectly safe. Of course, if they think for 1 second that there weren't like that, it never went through my brain like various scenarios of what could go wrong, they don't know me very well. Because I'm always going through scenarios of what could go wrong. I am like a risk management person. Or I'm a risk management assessor or something. It's like, hey, this can happen, that can happen. This is all the stuff that can happen. And but they worry about me. But I get vibes off people. And my vibes have never, aside from, like I said, that one time I was sitting there going, I don't think this is a good idea. I had no fucking idea that night that so much what he had planned. That level of danger to my physical self, I had no idea. I did learn a very valuable lesson, which is to always watch, like you open your drink. You keep an eye on your drink. And if you start feeling funny, you leave immediately. If there is any doubt in your mind of who somebody is, trust that. That if you're getting some kind of, well, I don't know about this person's being really pushy. Like if they're being really pushy about something, that's normally a red flag in my head. There was somebody else who wanted me to go to their house, and it was like this little town I've never fucking heard of. And seriously, in the boonies. And they had a roommate that I didn't know. And, there was like all these red flags about going. I was like, I don't think so. I don't think I want to go. Like go out there, and because what if like they know the woods like the back of their hand, and I'm like in some Texas Chainsaw Massacre thing where they're finding me. No, there's nowhere I can hide. I mean, risk management. But it just didn't. There were too many variables. There were too many things that I was uncomfortable with in the whole situation to go that far out. This, I was like, I'm going to be in the city. I'm getting a really good vibe off this person. I don't think that they're a danger to me. I really don't. And then there was that other deciding factor that I am not going to mention. But it was a strong one. And I listened to that particular voice, I guess, if you want to call it. Like it's like metaphorically speaking, it's like a metaphor pops into my head. And those metaphors, when I listen to them, everything turns out okay. Like I have never had one of those pop up that would, hey, this is like this. And had anything. It's always been like listening to that voice, which I can't even say whether, maybe it's intuition, maybe it's, I have no clue, because it doesn't pipe up a whole lot. But when it does, when that particular voice in my head makes itself known, doing what it says is always the best course of action for me. Because when I've chose not to, I've really missed out on some things. I'm like, damn. So, and when I choose to listen to it, I have weekends like I just had where I just had a blast. I had a fucking blast. Like I would almost go as far to say as it's the GOAT, the greatest of all time that I've had. I mean, I had a lot of good times when I was younger. But I just wanted to share that. Like, I don't really have anything specific to talk about today because, like, nobody's pissed me off. Oh, if you haven't had the bacon ranch parmesan pizza at Pizza Hut, you are missing out. That is like, That is a treat for your mouth. I love stuff. I'm like, oh. Like when I say that's orgasmic, like, yeah, like I'm not sexually gonna come, but my mouth. And I really shouldn't talk about that, right? It's TMI. So I'm gonna go now. I have a house to clean, dishes to do, laundry, fun adult stuff. Yes, I am gonna go now. Have a good night. Bye.